Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I just wanted to show you a few things that I bought from my local art supply store. The first thing I bought was a new small sketchbook, a Royal Talons, I think that the brand is. Book has 80 sheets, it's 12 by 12, and it says that it can do many things inside, including use watercolor, but I tested that later on and it did not work out. That part is not included in this video, but let me know if you want to see it. I didn't record it, but I'll show you a picture if you want to see it. So the notebook is pretty standard. It's not very thick, and these are the pencils that I bought from the stationery store. They're so tiny. They were so cute. And when I asked the lady behind the counter if she knew how, like, the quality of them, she says, I don't know. So I just decided, why not? I'll just try. Oh, I dropped it. These things are so small. But yeah, I wanted to try this little set of colored pencils just to see if they were okay, because sometimes I like to go to the park and draw or paint or write or something, so I wanted to see if these would work as like a little travel set. Surprise, surprise, I don't think that these would be very good for traveling. They're nice for if you're maybe inside but not outside, but you can see that later. So in this pack you can see that it comes with a pencil sharpener and an eraser, which are extremely small, but it's nice that you can pop them out very easily. And you can see it's really difficult for me to actually put them back. And they have little holes in the back, so you can easily pop them out. As you can see, the pencil sharpener really likes to like come out of the case. But yeah, here's the size of the pencil. It is extremely small. It's like maybe shorter than my pinky actually. It's very nice that they come pre-sharpened, because these pencils are a pain in the butt to sharpen, and you can see that later when I start drawing with them. But anyway, I love that it comes with this little sliding case and you can close it. It's so nice, and it comes with a little pocket sleeve. Now, and it does come with this piece of paper. It's watercolor paper actually, and I don't have any idea why they gave me a piece of watercolor paper to go with my colored pencils. Why would they do that? Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is open up my sketchbook, because you know, it's always a little bit daunting to start a new page, but I feel like starting a page with swatches is a pretty good way to like just get something down on the page and just start, you know? And this notebook is actually meant to be a travel notebook, so why not put my swatches of my travel pencils in there? So that's what I'm starting with. And honestly, because it's the first page, I just feel like I'm just gonna dump everything out. I don't really care. The point of the first page is chaos, and let's start with a little bit of it. So I have my pencils to the side, I have my pen. I forgot what size it was at the time. Maybe a 005 size. And you can see I'm trying to put them in like rainbow order, but you know, it doesn't matter. And you can see here that in this set that I thought it didn't have a black. Later on, I find it. But at this point I don't have it. So here you can see I'm just writing the title, Tiny Pencils, and writing all the color names. And I'll take another pen, or a brush pen. It's also a Pigma brand. And I'm just going to draw a black stripe down the middle. I know this is usually done to like test you know, paint. And if it covers the black line, it would be a good test for, you know, its transparency level, or, you know, opaqueness. But I thought, why not try it with my colored pencils? So here we start the swatch. White obviously doesn't do anything, and I accidentally didn't wait long enough for this to dry, and I feel so irritated because now it's just a big smudge. You can see how quickly the lead just files down. It's really annoying. So later on I'd have to sharpen my pencils quite a bit. One of them, after just this one session, went down to like half its size. Alright, so we'll speed this up and I'll show you what it looks like when we erase and as we blend. Okay, so now you can see that this is where I'm just erasing, and they erase pretty well. I like this eraser. So I'm wondering what type of colored pencils these are. They're actually pretty pigmented, and they're pretty soft. With the lead is pretty soft. So I'm not sure what kind of pencil this is, or what it's made from. And it erased pretty well. I almost was able to erase everything that it put on the paper with like a little bit of residue left. So I don't know if that's because of the pencil lead or what it's made of, or if it's because of the abrasiveness of the eraser. The eraser is not a soft eraser, so it could just be that it's just rubbing pretty roughly on the paper. I'm not sure. Okay, so here is where we're gonna start blending. I'm also gonna speed up this area as well because, you know, it's not necessary to see every single step unless you want me to. The next time I do a swatching test, maybe I'll show the entire process. But I realized that as I'm filming this video, my hand is in the way a lot. So I just figured I'll speed it up a little bit, show you my process, but, you know, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way as much as possible. Here I'm just going back and forth with different colors, trying to blend them in, and they blend very well. Like I said, the lead is pretty soft, so it blends in pretty easily. The only downside with this is that because I'm blending, I have to sharpen my pencils starting now. It's actually very irritating because what I didn't realize as I was testing this, or while I was buying it for sure, I didn't realize that it would be so irritating to sharpen these pencils. Like, I already have some wrist problems right now, and I really didn't think this through. These are not for anyone who have or who has any wrist pain or you know, carpal tunnel, whatever. It's not comfortable for your hand because they're very tiny. Here is where I just add a little bit of white to my little blending test, and you see here I couldn't really figure out how to sharpen my pencil for the first time. I was very confused. But I knew because this pencil sharpener does not have anything to hold any of the pencil shavings, I had to get my handy dandy vacuum, desk vacuum. I love my desk vacuum. I cannot recommend it more. It's so good. And the pencil sharpener is very sharp and it sharpens really well. So here I'm going through all of my pencils, just trying to sharpen everything and and prepare for the drawing I want to do. Now, because I was sharpening all of these all at once, my hand cramped up quite a lot because it's so small. The pencils are so small, the sharpener is so small, and then trying to twist it so many times, it's very uncomfortable. So I would not recommend this for anyone with hand pain, like I said. Okay, here's a little bit more of the white. It really does help blend in the colors, though it does of course lighten the colors. But it has a nice effect. And to be completely honest, I'm not a color pencil artist, so I don't know how to describe all the technical terms or explain what it's doing with the white pencil. I just know that it is blending them a little bit and making it a little bit lighter, and it doesn't really show up that much, so I don't know if it's a very good white pencil. Oh, and I finally found my black pencil. I thought it did not exist, it just blended in with the case. So I'm just going to scribble that in on the bottom and try my best to blend it into the brown, which actually worked pretty well. Here I am finally testing what happens when I put water on these color pencils, because I was curious, why did they give me watercolor pencils? Were they actually water soluble pencils? And the answer is no, they are definitely not. I don't know why they gave me watercolor paper to go with this. I have no idea. Perfectly useless. Okay, now that our swatching is done, let's start cleaning up a little bit and begin our small drawing. So I'm sorry about this part of the video. My hand is definitely in front of the camera most of the time. I truly apologize. I'll try to rearrange my camera for the next video, but for some reason this is the only position where my camera will get close enough to film the process. I'll do my best to rearrange it, but for now I think this is the best I can do. So, about the drawing. As you can see, maybe not, I don't know. You can see that I'm drawing a frog because I like frogs. Frogs are one of my favorite things, favorite animals. And you can see in the logo in the corner that my logo has a little frog on the bottom. So, I decided to just draw a little chunky frog. A little happy chunky frog. Before I draw, I'm gonna get rid of some of the extra darker marks with a kneaded eraser. And it's time to begin. For this part of the video, I'm not really showing a lot of details or the entire process. I've cut a lot of it out, mainly because you can't see it because of my hand, but also because it's a bit tedious. To be honest, it's not necessarily important to see. The only thing I want you to note is that I have to sharpen these pencils so frequently, and I have a feeling that it is a lot because of the, the texture of the paper. I feel like it wouldn't have chewed my pencils down so quickly if it had just been on regular flat hot press paper or just anything smooth like a sketchbook. And later on I do test it on my sketchbook, and it does last a lot longer. I don't have to sharpen my pencils as often, but I would recommend maybe not using it on watercolor paper because they're not meant for it. I'm doing my best to try and use all of the colors, and all of the colors don't necessarily work with the drawing, but I think I made it work in the end. I'm not trying to make a masterpiece with this piece, just trying to test it out, The frog is starting to take shape. You can see his little eyes and his little mouth and his tiny little eyebrows. Here I'm going in with yellow and orange and red and pink for the final touches, just to give it little sunlight and highlights to the frog. If I had been thinking about it at the time, I would have added a little bit of pink to the clouds, like a sunset or something, but I think it turned out okay as it is. Though I'm not sure I put the yellow in the correct places of the sky. I was just kind of going with whatever I felt like in the moment. I wasn't trying to be accurate with the lighting. So I have no idea where the sun is. I assume it's above the frog. Here I'm finally putting the little blushies on the frog and putting a few flowers next to him. I did add a few black marks with my pen, even though my pen doesn't actually work on this paper, or on top of the color pencils. I'm erasing a bit of the clouds to make it a little lighter, and here we are. There's my little frog. Honestly, I do think that these color pencils worked really well on this paper, all things considered, and the pigment was much better. I used blue tack to stick it to my table. But now it's going to be stuck into my book, and it fits perfectly. This is the tape that I use all the time. It's double-sided and it's in a tape dispenser. It's very easy to use. I don't really like other brands of this kind of tape. I just like the brand that I'm using now. I adjusted it a little further up so I can have space to write some notes on the bottom. Basically everything that I thought about how to use these pencils. It's basically what I told you all, that it's not meant for watercolor paper, it's not water soluble, the pencils rub away much more on this texture. Yeah. And then my name is on the bottom. On this side, I decided to just quickly sketch out another frog, same position, same composition, everything. And the reason why I'm doing this even faster is because my hand was so tired. I was so tired of drawing with these tiny pencils. So, we're coming towards the end of the drawing. I'm just putting in some final details like the face and the grass and everything. And I just want to say that it really does make a difference what texture your paper is for these pencils, especially because of how small they are and how much lead you can use at the tip of the pencil. It really does lay down much quicker. Though just be careful of how much you need to use, because I used the green one and it's halfway gone already. And so here is the final product. Here's the final result. A few extra touches. Here's my frog! Yay! The color saturation is a lot better on the watercolor paper, but I know it's because of the texture of it. But yeah, I really love how it turned out in both ways, though I think I like the watercolor more, to be honest. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, please like and subscribe and comment down below if you want to see more.